You ever look in the mirror and see a giant spider on your forehead? I have, and it's terrifying. So, to fill you in, if you haven't watched my previous videos, I've been sharing my story about mental illness when I was 27, being diagnosed with DID, which is dissociative identity disorder, once known as multiple personalities. Due to the trauma in my past, my brain literally fractured and split into different personalities. Those personalities held the memories, held the pain, kept it separate from me. And so when I was diagnosed, I found a counselor and I started working with them. And what they wanted me to do is stay present, Stephanie, stay present, and hear what the different parts are going to share, what memories they're going to share, what's going to go on. And so I had been doing this with my counselor for a couple years, and I finally started building up that trust, and I really trusted Leah. Well, I also had a sixth sense for spiders. I knew where they were at all times. I could walk into a room and I would see spiders in corners. I just knew where they were. And so this morning, when I walked into the bathroom and I was getting ready and I looked up and there was a giant, I am talking a giant spider on my forehead. I literally screamed, hit it off my forehead, ran out of the bathroom, jumped up on top of my bed, and just was like, this, literally having a massive panic attack. How did I not know that this giant spider was on my forehead? I don't know if I had flipped. I don't know if I had gone into another personality that could not feel this thing crawling on your forehead. How do you not feel a spider crawling on your forehead? Well, it freaked me out. It freaked me out so bad. I called Leah, and that week when I went to go visit her in her office, it was like, all right, we have been afraid of spiders, like massively afraid of spiders for so long. Can you please talk to the one that knows why we're afraid of spiders, please? And she's like, if they want to come talk to me, I will listen. And thankfully, they did. Thankfully, I stayed as present as I could. Stephanie, myself, I stayed as present as I could. And the little one came out and was talking to Leah and sharing with Leah the trauma around spiders when she was little. She had just said that she was laying on the ground and she could not move. It was either drugged, or I know there was one that was drugged. I know that was one that was tied down. But all she could tell Leah is that she couldn't move. And a person came over with a jar of tiny little spiders. There must have been hundreds. And they opened the jar up and they dumped spiders all over this little me, this little part. And she couldn't move and she couldn't do anything. And then to terrify her even worse, they had, I believe it was a tarantula. It was a giant spider, and they actually put the giant spider on her face, and she could not move. She could not get up. She could not get away from that. That was her memory. That was her trauma. And just the thought of being frozen with spiders on you and you couldn't shake them off. Like, the really cool thing is, I was an adult, and when that spider was on my forehead, I hit it off as fast as I could hit it off. And that was part of what Leah was able to share her with. That she is no longer that small. She is no longer frozen. That she no longer is going to be tortured and tormented with that memory. And I remember Leah prayed for her and just prayed for her to come into the present in today's day and age, that she is not back there in that time when that happened. Just told her that it was okay. She is so very, very sorry that that happened, and heard her, and I heard her on what happened with her. And just no wonder I had a sixth sense of where spiders were at all times, because that part of me was absolutely terrified of spiders, with good reason. And it broke my heart, the fear that she lived in. It broke my heart that somebody could actually do that to another person. It was just one of those things, but it was one of those times that God met us in Leah's office and brought comfort, took away that terror, took away that fear. Now, today's day and age, I still don't like spiders, but I'll tell you that fear is not there. That frozen, terrified, can't move, horrid feeling that I had is gone. That God brought his peace and his comfort to that little part of me and healed that part of me. And so, yeah, if you have a massive fear of something, if you know where it comes from or you don't know where it comes from, pray and ask God just to help break that fear, because he broke it in my life. I didn't ever think it was possible. I thought spiders were always going to terrify me. Like, not just a little bit of scared, but I am talking absolutely terrify. And I don't like them still, but they do not terrify me as much as they used to. And for that, I am super grateful. And thanks so much for listening to my story. There's so much more to tell.